Take a trip with us. ASMR experience.
How's a water buffalo?
3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Old School Matt here. We are back with another Water Buffalo Buff Talk. Today, we are joined by our host, Levi Ruiz. We are back with another episode, changing up the setting a little bit. What's going on, Levi, with you today, brother?
Good. We haven't done this in a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a couple days since we've done a podcast, and we decided to get back on here, change up the scenery a little bit. Like I was saying, we're doing a little bit of a nighttime podcast, so we'll call it a little after hours. Today, we're going to be talking about, what are we going to talk about, Levi?
I think we were talking earlier about being grateful and how it changes your life for the better.
Definitely. So today's podcast, we're just going to be sponsored by Grateful and...
I forgot about this. We're going to pop these on air.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the beers?
Adjusting levels still. There we go.
Okay.
That's right. Pop these bad boys. Heineken sponsor us.
So today we're going to be talking about being grateful. This episode is sponsored by Christ Fellowship. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to make a mess.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
he didn't want to open them on air because his dad pops them with another bottle. Is that what you said?
Dude, this is how much I actually drink. I don't even know how to use one of these.
I was gonna say, I did like the same thing. It's just a slippery bottle opener, but his dad opens them by taking another beer bottle, pop them under. You've probably done it before if you're watching this.
Like a badass. We're just sitting over here drinking.
Oh, it's ASMR. Oh yeah, you hear that swallow? Gulp.
Should we talk about your porn addiction today?
My porn addiction. Where'd that come from?
Anyways,
he's making this up.
So we're gonna be talking about being grateful today, and the importance of being grateful in life. Me and Levi both, our values are pretty much similar, I would say, in most aspects. We do disagree on certain things, like little things here and there, but we pretty much.
Wait, what do we disagree on? I'm actually curious. I don't remember.
Really?
I've always been pretty. Like, what do you disagree on? That I think.
Well, I think it would be last episode. Last episode we were talking about.
Like being a bad person and a good person, stuff like that.
Yes, yeah, that was. Yeah,
I think we do disagree on that. But before we dive into that, go check out Buff Talk number 3. It's great.
Yeah, it's a good episode. I think we talked for over an hour on that one, but
that's good. But yeah, if you're new to this podcast, we basically just kind of come up with random subject matters that we're interested in, and digression is always welcome. We love going in circles because it's basically you're being the third party to hopefully a productive conversation.
Definitely. And me and Levi talk like this all the time off air, and we decided, obviously, with all the other stuff we do for the channel, the workout stuff, the Buffalo barbecues, the lifestyle stuff, and we were like, dude, we talk so much off camera, we should just set up a podcast, spend like minimal money, and now we have a bunch of money invested, but minimal money on a podcast. We'll do it. It'll take us we'll do like 1 hour a week, and then it ended up being a bigger project than what it first originally started to be. But this is great because we love it and we're having a good time doing it.
Yeah,
so
it's fun.
But yeah, today we want to talk about being grateful and being grateful in things in life, and why we think that some people are very ungrateful. I have a couple of examples that I kind of want to talk about, but I don't know if you wanted to start off, Levi.
No, actually, why don't you start with, what's a good, what do you think being grateful is? Is it knowing that you have something, or do you think it's bigger than that? You think it's like a full perspective and how you view things? Like saying thank you versus not saying thank you? You think it's as simple as that, and like knowing, hey, I don't deserve this, but I'm getting it? Not being graced with something, or do you think it's like something bigger?
I think being grateful is kind of like a state of mind, maybe.
I agree with that.
I think it's not really, you're not really born grateful. I would maybe some people might disagree. I think you learn how to be grateful for the things you're given.
I think that too.
Obviously, someone that's rich and they grew up very wealthy, they might not be taught how to be. Some people might think like a rich kid might not be a grateful person, but that might not necessarily be true. But the way that they were raised and the way that their parents allowed them to, let's say, talk back or not appreciate the things they did for them, that might make them become an ungrateful person. This might be reciprocated in relationships, in achievements in other people, their reflection on others as well. But I think that growing up is a big part in being grateful.
Yeah. Now that you said that, I'm kind of getting my perspective on thinking. I think a lot of it comes from your parents.
Yeah, definitely. I would say
Or not all of it.
probably
I think most
80%.
of it comes from your experiences, like you just said.
Yeah,
I think a portion of it comes from your parents, though.
I would have to say that, and the more and more I experience life, the more and more why I understand that typically childhood and the way you're raised influences a lot of the factors that you do. Obviously, it's really obvious to think about it, but if you sit down and actually look at the different interactions you've had on an anecdotal level, I don't want to make any general statements out there, but most of the time, if people were born in a good household and they're born with like good values and are born raised by somebody, it doesn't have to be a parent, it could be a uncle, aunt, grandma,
Just
grandmother.
any guardian.
Typically, they turn out to be pretty good people.
I think so. Yeah, that was like our last podcast, the nature versus
Yeah.
nurture. I think you're a product of somewhat of your mind and what you're born with, and somewhat the genetics
But I think that people can
or
be.
the environment. I said a double.
No, I think people can definitely change. I just think that it's in terms of like being a grateful person. Like maybe somebody will humble them in the future.
Oh, that's a
And
huge thing.
I think that those moments can help you, become maybe more of a grateful person. But I think that overall, the way you were raised has a big impact on if you're a grateful person. Because if you were raised like, let's say for I was this example I was going to use, like if you were raised in a household where your parents were immigrants, or maybe they had grandparents or parents that were immigrants would be your grandparents. A lot of the times you have learned to appreciate just the sense of being where you are, like nothing materialistic, nothing having to do with money or whatever. Just being in the United States, for example. Like sometimes that's all they need to survive, if that makes sense. Like that's all they need to live is being in where they immigrated to. That's one of their biggest things. And if you build your basis off just that, like anything else will feel like it's kind of like incredible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think how do I say this without offending anybody? It's like part of our podcast is trying to speak our mind without offending anybody. But I think a lot of it is like, well, first off, I'm super grateful to be in America. I love, like, I know people probably have some problems with America and the way we're run, but no matter what partisan side gets control, I think we're still in relatively good hands. We're still capitalists, you can choose any job you want. When you work for your money is yours. I'm super grateful to be in America. But I think that was at a very macro level, but on a micro level, on like our personal level, I think when you go through really shitty situations, that is what makes you grateful for the good stuff.
Mhm.
Like it's almost like you never appreciate being able to breathe through your nose until you have a cold, and you're like, "Fuck, man, this sucks." And then every other day of the week that you're not sick, you're just like you take it for granted. Running water, AC. I think about AC all the time. Conditioned air, to be in your house and have a temperature that's perfect for you, just like literally perfect. Think about what they used in the 20s. Those like the buckets. I think we talked about this before. The buckets with the fans that blow over the ice, and that's what cools you down.
I've never talked
That's
about
what the
this
rich
before.
people had in the 20s. Now our poorest people in the world are living with luxuries that the richest people in the world in the 20s didn't.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like I'm grateful to be. I think about this all the time. I'm grateful to be living in 2021.
I am too.
We were born
Definitely.
in the 90s. We were born 99, 98,
99.
99. Same birthday, March 17th, St. Patty's Day.
3 years apart.
Yeah, 3 years apart. And dude, it's so great, dude. We have iPhones. We have $1,000 computers in our pockets. Is that fucking crazy?
Yeah, no, it's nuts, and it's not even the materialistic things. I'm grateful for not just me, but I know a lot of people out there also. Just grateful for the life that they're given, whether you believe in God or not. It all depends on your perspective in life, and you don't have to believe in a God or a higher power to be grateful for what you're given. But
100%.
like just the sense of you being able to go to the gym. Like some people don't even have the ability to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't even have the ability to, like you said, like breathe. Some people are in hospital beds and they got a slew of problems, and people complain about the fact that they can't. I don't know. They can't get the person that they love. Like people complain about relationships all the time, and this person's treating me bad, or this person this and that.
And they're not even in an arranged marriage in another country.
Oh yeah, or they're not like somebody that physically is, maybe they're fighting for their life. There's so many problems that we have, and this is sometimes happens to me. Like, so I try not to complain as much anymore on little things. Is like, there's always someone out there that has worse than you, and there's always someone out there that person that has it worse than you. There's someone out there that has it worse than them. So there's like many people before you're at rock bottom. So unless you're one of those people, you should really think about what how you feel and how you take situations, so you don't act like a little
Yeah, I see some people like when you're, how do I say this? When no matter what age you are everyone has problems. And I was
Yeah.
just watching the Netflix show Jenny and Georgia, and part of that show explores how no matter what you are
I want to digress in a second, but
or how old you are, yeah,
no.
oh,
Just about shows.
oh, okay. Everyone has their own problems, and like one character will be going through this, and another character will be going through this, and but every single person is selfish. And then when you compare everyone, it's like who's really got it worse? It's like no, everyone's pain is different. And think about me now. I have a job, finances. Where am I going to like live? Mortgages, things like that, and big boy stuff. And oh, I wish I could go back to middle school when it was all easy, bro. Middle school wasn't easy. You know how worried you are when you get like a little bit of acne. You're like, I'm gonna die. There's a pimple on my face, and everybody sees it, and it's freaking like your friends let you walk around for like 3 hours with like
I was never like that.
oh, I was like I was just if my shoelace was untied walking to class, I was like everybody saw me with my shoelace. Like I think we talked about this before too.
Yeah.
It's like when you're no matter what age you are, you have your issues, and they feel like the end of the world. But you have
I
to
never
back
had
up.
those issues. I never had those issues.
What kind of issues did you have in
I'm trying
middle
to
school?
think in middle school.
Exploring like why it feels good when you touch your.
Beep. No.
Beep, beep, beep.
No, I don't know. I really can't tell you. I'm trying to think.
What age is middle school? Is that
Like 12 to
10 to
14.
13?
12 to 14.
12 to 14.
I didn't really have any issues in middle school. I never really had any issues. The only issues I've ever had is the issues that I created for myself, to be honest with you. Like I don't want to be like a dick to Levi's 12-year-old self, but I feel like those problems are created by yourself.
Mhm.
And
100%.
I would even say that 95% of the problems that we all have are created by ourselves. Like maybe not 95, maybe like 75. But I think a big portion of our problems are just like, let's just say I don't know. Let's say money, for example. Like if you don't have enough money to go on a trip with your friends, like the only reason why you feel like it's like a shitty situation is because you can't go. But if you just like, what, I'm not gonna go, then you put you're like feeling sad for yourself. If
Yeah.
if you just didn't get affected by it, then you would just move on. It wouldn't be a burden on you. Same thing
Yeah.
with relationships.
That line itself, I think that it falls under the broad term that that gratefulness is a big part of relativity.
Mhm.
And I think, relativity plays a part in staying grateful, but also the opposite. Like think about where we are right now. We see our future. You see Water Buffalo. I see my band. And when you look at where you were and what you wouldn't have if you didn't have any of this, and it makes you grateful. But also when you look at what you don't have yet, it can make you either sad or it can make you driven. It can
Mhm.
make you focused
Definitely.
on what you want. And I think that's like the fact that you said that is huge for me. And like gratefulness is all about relativity.
Yeah, no, I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that keeps you safe. Let's say another example is like someone who um has like bad genetics when they work out.
Mhm.
Like they're like one of these people that, I mean, I'm gonna digress and I'm gonna digress again probably, but
Yeah, no worries.
first off, for everyone out there who says they have bad genetics, I would say 50% of you guys probably don't really have bad genetics. You just don't really either don't try or they don't know what you're doing. Second, for the people that actually
Knowledge.
have bad genetics and they say that they can't get in shape, and I can think of like 5 or 6 people right now. I think that if they were to realize that they could at least they can lift weights. At least if they can get in shape, maybe it might be harder for you to get in shape than for Levi or for I don't know, Chase Flores because he's got good genetics. Like I'm thinking people with good genetics, Ali. But like if you're one of these people out there that's like you legitimately have genetic dispositions to be more overweight or underweight, and then you complain about like
sexy.
what? Little burp. I don't drink beer, but you know what I mean. It's like these people that they go into the gym and they're complaining so much about the fact that they can't get into shape or they can't get big. Taking the people away that like are just making that excuse because they're lazy, and taking the people that really have bad genetics. There's people out there that have like 10 times worse than what they have, like morbidly obese people or like people that actually have like anorexia and serious issues with like their gut where they physically can't eat.
Mhm.
If these people were to be able to like take that and be like, you know what, I might not be able to do it. I might have to do 2 hours of cardio a day to get super shredded. Maybe not 2 hours, but you know what I mean, like an hour and a half, or maybe this guy only has to work out 4 times a week and he can go on the weekends, but I have to stay home and I have to, prep my meals and make sure everything's on point. I have to get 8 hours of sleep. And they realize that there's other people out there that even if they were to do exactly what, like, perfect, they couldn't even get in shape because they have like genetic dispositions towards, let's say, stomach problems, for example, that cause them to be anorexic or be morbidly obese, or they don't even have legs. Like, I see people out, like, people that go to the gym. There's people at LA Fitness that they're injured from being veterans, or whatever the reasons, they don't have any
And they're still
limbs,
lifting
and
in
they're
a
still
wheelchair.
lifting weights, and
Yeah.
and they're relatively, compared to the people that complain about their genetic problem, they're in better shape than them. And how are you going to tell me someone that doesn't even have legs can look better than you?
Yeah.
What's your excuse at that point?
I agree with you. I think actually reminds me of a story. Is there more in your mind? Because you reminded me of that story I was going to tell.
Uh-huh.
No. Are you done with like your
Yeah,
your
no, no. I mean,
thinking process?
there's so many, and I'm gonna say one more thing. Like I said, creating your own problems. There's so
Oh
many
yeah,
people that, and I do it sometimes too, but I try to stop myself. I try to, like, when I feel like I'm going down a path where I'm like, feeling sorry for myself, or like there's a little situation and I'm creating it to be a bigger thing. I, like,
you're stressing out
either
over it.
walk outside or go work out, or like do something different, just change up what I'm doing to change my mentality. Usually I'm pretty fast at getting like that over with, but some people, they dwell on it for like weeks and weeks and months, and it could be years of their life they're wasted on one situation that turned into something else. Because being ungrateful is like a domino effect, because once you're ungrateful about one part of your life, you start becoming ungrateful for other parts of your life, in
Oh
my
yeah,
opinion.
I think that's huge. And I
Like,
think everyone should have an activity that they do where they can actively self-analyze and become more grateful, and try and realize, even if you're in a really bad situation. I'm talking like the worst things in the world, which is
but you,
death of a loved one or losing someone, stuff like that. Um, Sometimes at the worst parts of life, maybe different than those situations, or even those situations. Sometimes everyone should have their activity where they sit down and really think about like why we're here at life on a huge level, like a huge
I
perspective.
was gonna say, typically the people that have the worst situations are typically the people that are most grateful in certain aspects. I know there's
I agree with
people.
that. It's like bad shit happens to good people kind of thing.
No, no, I'm just saying, like, like people that work really hard and have to work two jobs, and maybe not all of them, but like typically, I'm thinking more of, like, I guess, immigrants and stuff like that. Because I'm not that I'm biased towards immigrants, but I do respect immigrants a lot. But I never really see like a Mexican dude working at Home Depot bitching about his life. He just does what he has to do,
Yeah,
or what, you know what I mean. I never bitch. I never see the we don't have cleaning ladies, but like when I would go to like my friend's house, who had cleaning ladies, every time they were there, they always had a smile on their face, and those people have to go rub people's shit off their floor
yeah.
to.
At the end of the day, it's what matters. Like where you're happy. I know some people can't put themselves in perspective, but like what you just said about they like wipe shit like that. But when what you want out of life is like, let's say you're a Mexican and you're
Mexicans.
let's say no, I'm only saying
Hispanic, yeah, or
No. I
whatever.
mean Mexican, as
Oh,
in
okay.
like you're south of America,
Yeah.
and you need to get past the border. I wasn't singling out Mexicans as in that was the only immigrant. I'm saying
Well, we're
because
Hispanic. We can make fun of our
yeah, I'm
Hispanic people.
Cuban, so let's say even my family Cuban, Mexican. I was just saying Mexican because you don't have to cross water to get from Mexico to America. But let's say you have to cross that border,
Yeah.
right? And if you're a father and you have two children and a wife, and your entire goal in life, and you've lived a shitty life, you're
Mhm.
maybe in your 30s, you have some pretty young kids, pretty old kids, depends on their age, whatever. Your goal is to get them across to America, get a good job, and all you want is a house to call your own.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it matter if it's like 2 bedrooms, a house to call your own, and just like you want to one day just wake up and be like, hey, all I do is go to work, come home, hang out with my
Yeah.
family, and buy groceries.
That's
That's all
true.
I do. And you make it across the border. You make it whether you come illegally or you go legally. Obviously, there's a lot of problems that can come with going illegally, but that's a political matter. I don't want
I
to
was gonna
dive
say, do you
into.
want to digress in that?
I don't want to digress into that, but
I'll just put this out there really quick for anyone watching this. I typically align more right. And I'm sure people already know that, but I typically align more right. But that is something that I might disagree with my fellow politicians on the right side.
yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm educated enough to make any opinions. What's the word? Uh, to voice any opinions on that subject right now. I could obviously educate myself more, but I think on the grateful side of this conversation, if that's your goal, you make it into America and you have a house, which is huge, a huge expense. There's people I know that are well off and don't have houses. You get a house or just a place, and you have your family, and then you get that life of all I do is go to work, come home, spend time with my family, and we have fun, and we eat dinner together, and we just buy groceries, and we have small luxuries of life. Dude, that's the American dream. That's like, they are more happy than people I've seen, like, with dude living in $1 million houses and just like going to parties and like living that like American style, like was
Definitely.
American Pie like style life, dude. Like sometimes happiness is just perspective.
Definitely. And I think that that's a great.
Wait, real quick. Is that the rain outside?
Is it?
I'll look it up, but I think unless I have the expanders on, I could always turn them off like that. I think we're hearing the rain outside.
As we podcast.
It's relaxing.
Yeah.
This is
Take a trip with us.
ASMR experience.
Oh God.
Oh, we're so funny.
But I was gonna say something about what you were just saying. What were you talking about?
Perspective and like that
Okay.
family getting
Well,
their
I could digress a lot about that specifically, but I'll leave it. I'll leave it to another topic. But I wanted to mention what you said about how like that's their only goal, and this is what I'm gonna.
If they're on the go. I didn't mean that was.
Yeah,
Hope you didn't take it.
No, for sure. No. I'm saying like I'm gonna switch it up. They take a big turn. You probably don't even know where I'm gonna go with this. But this is a conversation I've had with an ex-girlfriend of mine actually, and we used to get into arguments all the time about stupid things, and I mean stupid things. And we talked kind of like about relationships last time, so I'm not gonna get into that part of it.
Mhm.
But like my grandma and grandpa were more worried about coming to the U.S. and they didn't have time to fight about stupid shit. Their time that they put their energy towards was they would never argue with each other, but they would be more worried about coming here. Like it's crazy that we can sit here and we can argue about stupid tiny little things that we manifest for ourselves. Let's just say like I don't know, social media or XYZ with whatever girlfriend boyfriend problems you get into.
Mhm.
And then you realize that there's people like let's say my grandparents or not my parents, my grandparents, they moved here together as a couple, and like when you see the problems that are caused and created by relationships now versus the problems that we have in relationships are created by either the boyfriend or the girlfriend. They're unnecessary and they're created by them, and usually I don't know if it's out of malintent or whatever the reason, but it's crazy to see that like people are literally coming here as immigrants and
They're worried. Are you kind of trying to get? They're worried about survival.
Yeah, like
where other people are worried about like not letting me pick where we have to eat, kind of thing. Like
yeah, like that type of shit. Like that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that we create, and I'm kind of full circling with we create our own problems because it's incredible that it's not just my grandparents. There's so many couples out there that they don't fight with each other, but they're fighting with each other to try to reach a goal, like coming to the United States or just being able to get jobs here. And then there's relationships like me and you see in our own lives and other people's lives that they're fighting about the stupidest shit because one wanted to create a problem. That's to show the level of gratefulness and the level of respect that we lack as people in our society, in my opinion.
Dude, I'm so glad. Even if nobody watches this podcast, one view, and it's like
we're over 1,000. We're over 1,000 subscribers at this point. So
yeah,
we're making big bucks.
I think right.
$2 a month.
Show it off. Yeah, we're making big bucks. How much we get this month? $1,
$92.
Cool. No, what I was gonna say is it makes me realize a lot of stuff, and I wanna tell a story, but I also want to get into. I want to ask you something because you kind of unlocked something in my brain connection wise. ASMR experience. And I want to like ask you about it. But dude, when it comes to gratefulness, and this is probably going to segue into like what I'm going to talk about, just being grateful for the little things. So
yeah,
Ali Gonzalez, we mentioned him so much. Does he even know we do podcasts?
No, bro, no one knows.
Dude, he's gonna watch all these. He's like, "Am I in every one?" But so I, as you know, my career right now, I'm a firefighter paramedic. To get those certifications to work as one, you need to go through EMT, then fire, then paramedic school and stuff like that. When I got through fire school, it's a big like 12-week paramilitary boot camp, so to speak, and you're constantly getting yelled at. Why is your water bottle within 6 inches of the spout? Are you a piece of shit? Don't tell me you forgot what's your problem? Why'd you do that? And you're like, you're just getting yelled at for everything. And so it was a rough 12 weeks. They're just whipping you in the shape. They're basically just kind of weed out the weak people. And I finally finished, right? I'm at Ali's house. And I'm chilling like on his couch, and he's in the kitchen or something like that. And his dad walks in. So I'm on the couch. Ali is in the kitchen or something like that. His dad walks in. He's a thick accent from the Hispanic accent. So he I'm sitting in there, and he's like, Levi, how are you? How are you doing?
How are you?
How are you?
I'm not Jewish.
Two
I told
birds,
you.
one the guy. You ever seen 3 fall down on 2 thighs? So forget. No, we're quoting TikTok, but he comes in and he's like, Levi, how are you? And I was like, good. I just finished. I just graduated fire school. And he's like, okay. So he walks away, and then Ali's like, Dad. And he goes, what? He's like, he really doesn't understand what I said. He just like blowing me off.
Good for you.
And then he's like, oh, sorry, what was that? And I was, no. I was just saying, I finished fire school. And he goes, okay, very good, okay. And he walks away, and Ollie's like, Dad! And he's like, what? Oh, sorry, my English is not very good. And then he's like, listen. And I was like, no, it's not a big deal. I'm just saying that I graduated from fire school, the thing I was in. I finished it, I'm done. And he goes, I'll be right back. He disappears for like 30 seconds, right? Comes back and goes, how about that? He slaps $100 bill down in front of me. And I'm like, what? Like, I can't accept this. Like, this is $100 bill. I mean, I was working as a lifeguard at the time, and that was like half a paycheck for me. I was making like $200 on the out of season weekends. And I was like, sir, I can't accept it. He goes, no. And this is the point of the story I'm getting to. He goes, you have to learn to be grateful, and you have to learn to accept with gratefulness. And I was like, I remember that forever. And I was just like, because think about when I do stuff for other people, my friends, whether it be Ali himself, I pay for lunch, or I'll just do the small little things that don't even compare to that. But when good things happen in life, you can't just be like, oh, no. Like sometimes you have to, when good things happen to you and you go, there's like probably 4, how do I say this without stumbling over my words? Life isn't free, but sometimes in life, maybe 4 or 5 times in your life, things will happen where actually free shit will come to you, mostly because it's probably someone else being kind. Mm-hmm. Usually. If something happens, it's usually because somebody else is giving it to you, or it's coming full circle. I believe in like reaping what you sow and stuff like that. Some people call it karma, whatever. And when those moments come, I believe you have to learn to be grateful, just like he said. And
okay. That's a pretty good story.
Dude, it's so funny. It's just the way it happened.
I don't know his dad, but
yeah.
I've talked to him one time on the phone. It was very
but
hard
let me,
to understand.
is your computer on? Look up, I got this running. Can you look up Abraham Maslow'S hierarchy of needs? So while you look that up, here's what I was thinking. You know how you said we create these problems for ourselves?
The fuck was that?
You heard that too, right?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I don't know what it was.
Abraham.
So
I'm like typing up there. I have this keyboard.
For those of you who don't know, Abraham Maslow, I think, is in psychology. We learn that he created, I think it was called self-actualization.
Yes.
And he has a hierarchy of needs, which is like in the form of a pyramid. And I think a lot of people, and this is, I only kind of like
made this. I want to ask you a real quick question. Have you ever read the book 5 Love Languages? I
like started it. I didn't. It's like small and purple. Yeah. It's actually in my bathroom. It's like part of our like reader. Did
you like it?
I have, like I said, I basically started it. I get the concept of it.
Recently or?
No, it was a while ago. I get the theory of it, and I get.
What do you think about it?
I think it's good. I think communication is the key of all relationships, and that's literally communicating your affection. I think it's a huge.
I didn't fit any of them.
You didn't fit any of them?
No. I'm a very because I see this and I was thinking.
You're kind of wondering if you fit this.
I
think
that
you're wondering.
And I don't mean
I'm not human.
No,
I don't fit these.
No. I'm seriously. I don't mean to like think that I'm like better. This has nothing to do with being better or anything else.
Just woke. I just feel like he's just woke.
No, not even woke. I just feel like either I'm living in the wrong time period, or the way that I've shifted my mentality is so extreme that I've just some things that don't really fit me.
Yeah, I think. Hold on.
I'm not saying this. This reminded me because the girl I'm dating now, her and I read that book, the 5 Love Languages or whatever, and not one of them fits me at all. And if you would know the book, it would have been a good digression. But I guess now we just have to sit here
Yeah.
in silence.
No.
Just kidding.
I think. Let's see. I want to get like a good one. So when it comes to these, I think like when you're on, I actually pulled it up without anything happening to my DAW, but I think what you're saying is when you have one,
Mhm.
you only worry about the next one that you don't have. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when you're like, let's say it's
Yeah,
an
okay,
immigrant
I
coming
agree.
up,
I agree.
you're literally physiologically needs food, water, warmth, and rest. And I think rest and warmth come with shelter. It's
Yeah,
probably an answer.
I've seen this before.
But I think it's like, let's say you don't have that. These are like the problems you create for yourself. Oh, love, needs, and esteem, and security and safety. And then when you compare it, you're like, do you have running water? Do you have food
Yeah.
that you can just pull out of your fridge?
No, I like this
That
model. This model's great.
that's what you're like almost saying. It's like some people are still at the bottom of the period. They haven't reached. You're almost to self-actualization, and you're worrying about esteem. And these people don't have food and water.
Yeah.
It's like that is where this relativity is. You could be anywhere, and remember, people are still at the bottom for survival. And then let's say you get food, water, warmth, rest, security, and safety. I think that's what this one says. Let's see what the other one says. Oh, safety needs still as well. Personal security, employment. Oh, there it is. That's pretty cool. Employment, resources, getting a job, and that's what people seek.
Where do you think you lie? Self-actualization.
Let me read it. Love and belonging. I believe I have a really great, I good friends.
Let's run through them. We have physiological needs.
We have physiology. We have air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. Obviously, the next one is safety.
I don't
needs.
have my conceal yet, so no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I actually do. I have my concealed carry. I have my safety when I'm out in public. Personal security.
Don't pull an iguana video right now.
Don't employment. I have a career, resources, health, and property. I don't own. I'm not a homeowner, but I'm in the process of saving up for a house. Everyone's on their journey. Like just because, and we've talked about this before, just because you see somebody and they don't look like they're in a good spot in life, doesn't mean they're not. They don't have an attack plan ready to go. They could be saving up and they could be on the verge of buying something. Love and belonging. I have an amazing girlfriend, and I hope to one day marry her. If you're watching this isn't just to butter you up. Friendship, intimacy, family.
Is that Tanya?
Tanya. Could you shout out a random name to make noise? Is that who that from? Oh, when you texted me today,
Tears or whatever.
No, that's like Lairs.
Lairs.
So my girlfriend's name is Kait.
It was a Spanish.
And are you at Lairs' house? And she's like, who the fuck is
Are
Lair?
you serious? She said that?
No, she was just being funny, but she knew it was a typo because the letters are right next to like K's next to L and R's next to T.
She fucking went on the thing. Let me look at this.
No, I showed her. I was like,
it's because it had the Spanish keyboard on. Layers means something in Spanish. I don't know what it means.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I believe I have love and belonging, esteem, respect, self-esteem, status.
After you watch the videos on Water Buffalo, probably not.
No, I'm just kidding. Respect. I get respect. I mean, it's different when you work as a firefighter paramedic. A lot of people, when you're in uniform, they give you a sense of respect. Sometimes I feel like don't even deserve. And
I respect you. I love you.
No. It's
if anyone respects you,
I think it's because if I've only been in the fire service for about almost 2 or 3 years now. I think between my old department and this one, and when there's people that have been working for like 17 years and they've been in the shit, it's almost like you're getting the respect that they've earned for you, which is part of the rite of passage. And it's almost like the contract too. Anything you get into a department, they've created something, and your job is to not only enjoy it but also uphold it.
We need to do a podcast on respect.
We'll do one.
Respect is something that I'm gonna just pause you real quick just because
we'll stop on the
respect is my number one thing, and I think that it's not necessarily given nor emphasized in our society.
It's earned.
No, I'm saying like in my age group, our generations, respect has fallen off people's radar.
Oh,
I see a lot of, and I'm not just talking about respect in like your fire department. It's fucking beer. I'm just talking about respect amongst peers, respect amongst family, respect amongst relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, wife. Yeah. I feel like respect has, and maybe it's always been a thing. Maybe it's just a human thing, but I see a very big lack in respect. And
that's why respect creates problems.
That's why for people that I feel like deserve my respect, I give them my utmost respect. Like I will do anything.
Except for me. Just kidding.
Anyways.
No, I agree. I think stay tuned for the next podcast. Respect. That honestly, just saying, I have so many things to think of, and I actually want to hear your things. But just to finish this up,
Yeah.
respect, self-esteem. My self-esteem goes up and down, especially when you're dipping your feet into the water that is the entertainment industry. Dude, we have like
I thought you were gonna
what?
say dipping the feet of the water that's in the buffalo. I was like, what is he?
Oh yeah, I'm a poet. Didn't know it. Had brains that couldn't show it. And we you'll get one comment that's like, oh, amazing band, great work, great composition, amazing voice, good guitar work, whatever, blah blah blah. And then the next one will be like, delete this, or like,
Fuck you.
oh, like way to ruin the genre. Like you guys will never be it, blah blah blah. And it's just like, yeah, I mean that's not huge, but like I think that's important. It's almost like working out. Sometimes people have to damage your self-esteem in order for it to become stronger. So I think I have self-esteem now. Recognition, strength, freedom. Oh, we know about that strong boy. We know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being a little arrogant right now. Freedom. We are in America, and we are in a. Well, it depends on what you're going through right now. Some people in America don't feel very free right now, but as gratefulness, I feel like that. And then self-actualization, desire to become the most that one can be. Maybe I do feel self-actualized.
You do or you don't?
I know. I think I do. I never actually read the whole pyramid since like junior year of high school or whatever when I took psychology. I just kind of remembered what I did, and I am desiring to like push my limits. So maybe
No, I think I'm at self-actualization too.
yeah. I feel like, and I think when you're at self-actualization, I think a full circle in this podcast, you need to be grateful for having every single thing below you. For your esteem, you need to be grateful for what built it. For your love and belonging, you need to be grateful for who's in your life and who's willing to stay. Just like we're talking about putting all this time into one person and then being out of here. You have to be grateful that you're putting time in a person and they're sticking with you through it.
Wait, so with this model, I'm gonna digress. I'm gonna go back on what I said, and I might disagree with this model a little bit.
Mhm.
You have to work your way up, or you're either in one.
I don't think it says that. I don't think it says anything that you can have one without the other. Because think about it, you can have you could have love and belonging and not have physiological needs.
Yeah, no, that's what I was. That's
Like
the
you
only
and
thing
your wife could be looking for a home and be homeless and something like that, and you'd be looking in another country for a place to.
That's what I was gonna. I was gonna use the self. I think there's a lot of people with self actualization, that rely a lot on other things that they don't have. Like I feel like the love and love is such a weird. That's another podcast we should do. Love, not just relationships, but love in general.
Yeah.
The emotion of love.
Like love for your, excuse me, love for your peers and love for everything around you.
Just love in general and how it literally drives people. It's their what's it called, like their demise and their what's it called, like it's their like it's love can either make you or break you sort of thing.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like we could do on every like virtue. We do one on love, one on respect, one on.
Are those virtues?
It's like we'll be the what's it called? Water Buffalo's Book of Virtues. We'll make our own Book of Virtues.
Make a water buffalo logo with like Buddha. Like,
Dude, children. Did you ever read the Book of Virtues when you were younger?
No.
It was
Is it a Bible book? Like
some of them are Bible influenced, but I had a children's version, and then with lots of like pictures that are more fun to read with your parents when you're younger, and then an adult version. And me and my dad, we started to dive into the adult version.
The adult version.
It's just longer and less pictures, stuff like that, and more into it. But it's a story, and they teach you stuff like that. Just like I don't remember why I think of this one, but it's like a guy, he goes to drink from a river, and then his hawk keeps like spilling his drink, and he keeps trying to get the water, and he eventually, I think he retaliates with the bird. I don't remember correctly. Like I said, I was young, and then eventually, like I think he feels sorry. He goes to find the bird, and it's like hurt, and he realizes at the top of the stream there's like a snake who's bleeding its venom into the water and tainted the water and stuff like that. And it's like I think that one was about trust. And it's like a bunch of small stories. Each small story represents one virtue, and it's an entire book of virtues. There's many of them, but yeah. And I think that's another big thing in parenting. There's probably one on gratefulness, honestly. Actually, I'll look that up. Oh, you were gonna say that?
No, I was gonna say. Well, I think we hit the hammer on the head with this podcast today. Well, about gratefulness, and I think we came full circle. Digressed a little bit.
How long has it been? How long has this podcast been?
I'm not sure. You want to check out though?
It's been 39.
We'll give it a couple more minutes, but for you guys watching out there, hopefully by this episode we have a couple active viewers. Let us know. Shoot us a DM. Shoot us a comment. What you think about being grateful and how you try to be grateful. And what are some things that you feel like you could work on as an individual?
I think the last thing before we go is, like I said, the activity of being grateful. What do you do in your life
I
to
pray.
actively be? Yeah,
I
I
pray.
pray too. That's a
I
big thing
pray,
for
and
me.
I also whenever I try to thank the people that got me to where I am. Um, I used to do this thing. I don't do it anymore that much. I don't know why, but I used to do this thing where when I got like when I was in a bad spot and I was like pissed off or I was mad about something, I would go through my contacts and I would scroll and I would click on one random number as long as it wasn't like I don't know, like fucking teacher or some shit. No,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's a teacher, it's someone weird or something like if it's like I don't know, my accountant or something.
Mm.
Even her, maybe I'll shoot her a text. But I would go and choose three people. It would usually be like when I used to go to I used to have a lot of weird routines in Gainesville. When I used to go to the gym in Gainesville, it would be typically towards the end of the day, and typically most of our problems happen during the day, not at night. Typically, most of our problems manifest in the morning time, and it kind of ruins our day.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a bad cycle to be part of. But I would go, and when I would get into an argument, let's say with my ex girlfriend, or I'd be in a bad spot where I'd be working. I was working a lot when I was in school at the mall. I was like just tired and I was pissed off. I would go through my contacts. I would scroll and choose three random numbers, and it most likely would be people I haven't talked to since high school. And I just check up on them, and see how they're doing, and then bring up like a good memory that they've like something they've done for me or something that we did together, and kind of just like kind of conversate back and forth and see how they're doing, check up on them. I know that doesn't really have to do with gratefulness, but that was a way that
That's
I
still an active way of
yeah,
of exercising
and
that.
a lot of times I would choose friends. Like it would be friends. I'd be like, "Hey, bro, I know you're not like we haven't talked in a while, but just want to say like I appreciate you for what you do and who you are and blah blah blah." Not in like a not in like a fake way, but in really like a personalized way. I would spend a good 10, 15 minutes a day doing it if I got into a bad like I would do it when I felt like I was in a bad spot. And during some of my earlier times in college, I was pretty stressed out with a lot of things I had going on, like with school, especially because it was a lot harder for me back in the day, and that helped me in my opinion. So
Yeah, I think it's huge, and I uh, I do two things. I do one thing to be grateful of the past and of the present. I also want to say right here it says this is week adversity virtue of gratitude. When you're grateful, it is impossible to be hateful, angry, or fearful. Gratitude cannot be requested, demanded, or coerced. It can only be given. It is a gift, not an exchange. Gratitude is a virtue because we chose to celebrate rather than to resent what is. That is huge. And I don't want to say family deaths because the reason I go straight to that is because one of the worst things in life. When you lose people close to you, whether it's a breakup, you're losing them because they're still alive in life, but you're not seeing them anymore, or you're losing a loved one. Like I don't
what?
think any of my grandparents are alive.
No, I was gonna say continue.
No. I think I just lost my last grandparent this summer,
Mm-hmm.
and
Cool.
it's like that's when you realize you're getting old. You're like you're only one more
Mm-hmm.
generation. And then once you're the
Dude,
top generation, you're like,
I've had in the past year like 3 or 4 deaths, cancer, fucking bad hospitalizations.
yeah,
That's how you know you're like fuck people.
yeah,
The clock started ticking for me when my grandpa died last year.
yeah.
Cause I was like fuck, it's that point, you know.
Yeah, it puts you into perspective, and like obviously, there's people that are going through things right now that we can't put our
Oh
feet in their
yeah,
shoes.
no.
Like your dad dying when when you need them the most. Like I don't know, in the middle of high school, like and different people have different relationships. Some people their parents are the best friends. Some people they like annoy them,
Yeah.
you know.
Some people don't have a relationship with their parents, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
and
affect them
sometimes it's
so much.
different. And the closer you have a relationship with someone,
Yeah,
the
the harder
harder it
it
is
is.
when they
Yeah,
pass away.
definitely.
And so, not to get into too much of it, but when you think of it, it says to celebrate rather than to resent what is. Like I think that's a huge part of Christianity. Is when people pass, they go to heaven and they or whatever you believe in the specifics of it. I just said that for people who don't believe, but Judgment Day and judge and we all stand shoulder to shoulder the last day. Whatever you believe, I think when someone dies, it's like it sometimes is something to celebrate, and it's they don't have the stress of life anymore. They're at the final. There's mortality rate 100%. Everyone's gonna die.
Yes, yes.
You know.
Do you think that one day we'll become immortal in terms of physicalities? Like, you think science will go to the point where we can live forever? I think
Uh,
so. I really think
I
so.
don't know. I'd point towards no right now, but that's something huge. It's almost like reaching the speed of light. It's like you know if you know if
I
you
think
know your
that'll
physics, it's like technically your mass becomes infinity. And how can your
last
mass be
digression, but
infinity?
really quick. Don't even expand on it. What do you think we're gonna get to time travel or immortality first?
No, I don't think we'll get to time travel.
No.
Think about it. Like you said, when you get to the speed of light or we get closer, I think it's like an asymptote. And if you actually were to ever reach it, like your mass would be infinity. I maybe I was thinking about this. I was talking about this with somebody, and maybe I just thought about it wrong. But yeah, maybe that's time for another thing. But just to end it, what I do for gratefulness is for the past. I'll end with this so we don't carry on too long. When you have an activity that you constantly actively exercise your perspective of gratefulness, your life changes and you celebrate more than you resent. You're less hateful, you're less fearful, and dude, you're just so much happier. And why wouldn't you want that? That's
I
it.
agree.
That's
I
it.
agree, Levi. That was a great podcast. I had a
Yeah, I
great
really
time.
like that one too.
Anyways.
Yeah, if you want to take us out, and then if hopefully this isn't the most recent one, but if you guys check out more podcasts after this.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have at least, I think I have a couple with my mom. I got some with Mr. Levi. And we'll close out the show. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. We're trying to get better and better. Hopefully, I would say in the next 5 to 6 podcasts after this one, we'll probably have multiple cameras, so we don't use iPhones anymore. But we're growing. We're gonna keep getting things better. Hopefully, there's a couple more cool Buffalo barbecues out by then.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we will see you guys on the next one. So thank you guys for watching. Check out waterbuffalotm.com for some more fitness stuff, and check out our Instagram for some more fitness stuff too.
Yep.
So,
Hope you enjoyed our buff talk on gratefulness, and see you next time.
later, fellas and ladies.
Hey guys, thank you guys for checking out this video. We're so grateful to have you here on our YouTube channel. So make sure to check out all of our other videos ranging from a variety of different type of podcasts to our Buffalo barbecues. Check out our YouTube channel for constant updates on all the stuff that we have going on. You can also follow us on social media like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So check us out there. Water Buffalo Training Method. We're out.